Students, I welcome you in today's session of physics. And in physics, as you know very well, we were discussing the topic sound, which is your chapter number 7. Clear? We had covered out most of the topics in our previous lecture number 1, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about the quality. You can see here, this is the topic we are taking now. So we can distinguish between the sounds or notes produced by a sitar and a flute even without seeing the musical instruments. This is because the sound produced by sitar and the flute differ in quality. Similarly, we can distinguish between the sounds or notes produced by singer like Mohammad Rafi and Mukesh by listening to their songs or radio even without seeing them. Clear? So this is also because the sound produced by Mohammad Rafi and Mukesh differ in quality. We can now say that quality is that characteristics of sound, this is the definition of quality, sound which enable us to distinguish between the sound produced by different sound producing object. Clear? So this is why way you can define the quality. What is quality is. I hope it is clear. So like different musical instruments or different singers, even if they are of same loudness and pitch, clear? The sound produced by different musical instruments like sitar, flute, piano, violin, guitar, veena, shehnai, harmonium, trumpet, tabla, etc. can be distinguished by their quality. Even if they are, what happen? Of same loudness and pitch. Similarly, the sound or notes produced by different singers can be distinguished by their quality. So the quality of sound produced by different musical instrument or different singer is different because they produces sounds of different shapes. So please note that the quality of sound is also known as timbre. Fine, this is important one, kindly remember this. So we will now discuss noise and music. What is noise and what is music? You can see here. We hear different type of sound in our daily life. Some of these sounds are unpleasant to hear, whereas other sounds are pleasant to hear. So the unpleasant sound around us are called noise. Fine, this is the definition of noise. So noise is produced by irregular vibrations of the sound producing source. Some of the examples of noise are as follows, like running of mixture and grinder in the kitchen produces noise. Fine. Similarly, blowing of horns of motor vehicles like car, buses and trucks etc. causes noise. Bursting of cracker produces noise. Barking of dog produces noise. Shattering of glass produces noise. So taking off, landing and flying of aeroplane causes noise. These all are the examples of noise. So the various sounds coming from a construction sites where a building is under construction is also noise. So if in a classroom all the students start talking together loudly, the sound thus produced will be called noise. We do not enjoy hearing the noise. Fine. Here you can see this is the figure of noise, this one. A noisy sound causes discomfort to the ears. Clear? The sounds which are pleasant to hear are called musical sounds. So this is the difference between noise and music. Musical sounds are produced by regular vibrations of sound producing source. Some of the examples of musical sounds or music are as follow. The string of a sitar make regular vibrations, so a sitar produces musical sounds. The sound produced by harmonium is also a musical sound. In fact, all the musical instruments like sitar, veena, guitar, violin, piano, flute, shehnai, tabla, harmonium and mridang produces musical sounds. So the speakers of radio, stereo system and televisions also produces musical sounds. When a person sings a melodious sound, he or she also produces musical sounds. We enjoy the musical sounds produced by the musical instrument or singer because they give pleasant sensation in our ears. If however a musical sound becomes too loud, it will become noise. So this is the difference, basic difference between music and sound. If the music is too loud, then it considered to be noise. So this happens when a very loud music is played at disco or DJ. So when a band play loudly during a marriage procession, clear, it is considered to be a noise. Now we will talk about what is musical instruments. We all hear music every day from radio and televisions, fine. The various sounds produced in music are called notes in English and swar in Hindi. So the arrangement of sound of different frequencies is called notes or swar in a way that is pleasant to hear is called music. So when we sing a song, we modulate or alter our voice to produce these musical notes or swar. The instrument which make musical sounds are called musical instruments. This is the definition of musical instruments. Some of common musical instruments are sitar, violin, veena, guitar, tanpura, piano, harmonium, shehnai, bansuri, nandaswaram, tabla, mridangam, majira and jaltarang. So there are mainly 4 types of musical instruments. You can see here, first is string musical instrument, the second one is wind musical instrument, third one is membrane musical instrument, and the fourth one is plate type musical instruments. Fine. So we will now discuss these 4 types of musical instrument in somewhat detail, one by one. Let us start with the string musical instruments. So first we start with the string musical instrument. String musical instruments are produce musical sounds by vibrations of stretched strings or stretched wires. A string is a piece of thin wire. In a string musical instruments, the thin metal wires are fixed tightly between the 2 points. Fine. So when the stretched string of a musical instrument is plucked or bow with the fingers of our hands, the string starts vibrating and produces sound. A string musical instrument has usually many strings. These strings are fixed tightly on a large surrounding box which is usually made of wood. So the air present in the sounding box increases the loudness of sound produced by vibrating string. The example of string musical instruments are, you can see here, sitar, violin, tanpura, santoor, guitar, piano, iktara, sitar, etc. So when you can see here, there is a string given here in this sitar. We pluck the string of a musical instrument like sitar, so the sound that we hear is not only that of the string. In fact, the whole musical instrument is forced to vibrate, and it is the sound of vibrations of the whole body of the musical instrument that we hear. Now come to the second one. Wind musical instruments produces musical sounds by the vibration of air columns, clear, inside them. So blowing air is called wind. In a wind musical instrument, a column of air enclosed in a wooden tube or a metal tube vibrate and produces musical sound, like sound produces in flute. So we have to pump air usually from our mouth into the wind instruments to make it work and produces sounds. So some of the wind instruments are shehnai, bansuri, nandaswaram and trumpet. Harmonium is a keyboard and a musical instrument. A wind musical instrument called flute is shown here. This is the wind musical instrument. If you blow air into this flute, then what happens? Sound is produced. Clear? Now we will talk about the third one. The third one is your membrane. What happened with the membrane? So now we will discuss about the membrane. So membrane is a thin sheet of skin. Membrane type musical instruments produces sounds by the vibration of thin stretched membranes. Fine? Or you can say that stretched skins. So in a membrane type musical instruments, a thin membrane fixed tightly over a hollow wooden drum vibrate and produces sound. So we have to strike the stretched membrane of the instrument with our hands or with a stick to make it vibrate and produces sounds. So these are also called as percussion instruments. Fine. So the membrane instruments are also called percussion instruments. The examples of membrane type musical instruments are mridangam, tabla, dholak, drum, dhapli. A membrane type musical instrument called mridangam is shown below. Please note that we strike the membrane of mridangam. Here you can see this is the mridangam and it is a membrane type instrument. So mridangam, the sound that we hear is not only that of the membrane but of the whole body of the mridangam, which is forced to vibrate. So mridangam, tabla and dholak etc. are actually rhythm instruments or tal instruments, which are usually used along with other musical instruments. Now come to the fourth one, the plate type instruments, musical instruments. So plate type musical instrument produces musical sounds by vibration of thick plates. Clear? So the plate type musical instrument are simply beaten or struck to produce musical sounds. The cymbals or majira is a plate type musical instrument. You can see here this is the plate type instrument. The cymbal is consist of two concave brass plates. When the two metal plates of cymbals are stuck together, they make a ringing musical sounds. The bell used in performing puja or that in the temple is also a plate type musical instrument. The bell is a hollow metal vessel which emits musical sounds when struck with a hammer fixed inside it. Clear? Nut or matka is also a plate type musical instrument. Fine? Which makes sounds when struck. Ghatam and kartal are also a plate type musical instruments. Jal tarang is also a kind of plate type instruments. So the jal tarang instrument consists of a number of cups containing different amounts of water. Fine. So when the cups containing water are struck with two sticks in a proper way, then a musical sounds are produced. You can see here a person sitting with handling two sticks in his hand and striking the cups which is filled with waters. So the water cups producing different sounds. Fine. So that is the thing written here. The jal tarang instrument consists of number of cups containing different amount of water. So when the cup containing water are struck with two sticks in proper way, then musical sounds are produced. The frequency of the sounds produced in jal tarang is adjusted by putting the appropriate amount of water in each cup. The cup containing minimum water produced the sounds of lowest frequency or lower pitch. So as the amount of water in the cups goes on increasing, the frequency of the sound produces also goes on increasing. Clear? So the cups having maximum amount of water will produce the sound of highest frequency, and the cup which containing the lowest amount of water produces the sound of low frequency. So I hope whatever I taught you, you understand it very well. So this is the end of the chapter, students. Fine. And we will meet with our new lecture with a new chapter. Till that, do study properly. Thank you class. Thank you very much.